Welcome back to a special episode of Just Talking with Joe Burdick. I wanted to do something special for the families of the 13 heroes of Abbey Gate. I haven't talked about this on my podcast much, but I met the two biggest rock stars in Ohio politics, my heroes, last year. I met Senator Jane Timken at an event at the Sam Center back in May. And then in June, I met Kristina Roegner at the Lincoln Day dinner. And individually, I talked to both of them about how important it was for me to help keep a promise I made to Rachel Soviak, which was to keep her son Max's memory alive, and also the memories of the other 12 heroes. And both of them jumped on board and wanted to make this happen in Ohio. And good news recently, the bill went to the House after a bunch of meetings and passed 94 to nothing, making this very bipartisan, which I was shocked it was as the way it was. I was pleasantly happy. But it's going to be on the governor's desk soon. So I invited Senators Roegner and Timken on. So maybe we can do a little talk a little bit about why they chose to make this happen. So, Senators, thank you for coming on my podcast.
Thank
Well,
you, Joe, for having us on, and thanks for bringing this to our attention. I know both Senator Timken and I, and truly the whole General Assembly, we are so grateful for the sacrifice that all of our service members make for our country to defend our freedom, both home and abroad. And so we wanted to certainly recognize them for that.
Absolutely, Joe. And, thank you for your dogged determination and for being willing to step up and have the conversation. For me, it was about remembering these 13 servicemen and women and their great sacrifice. We have so many serving in the military, and every single one of them is incredibly important to our country. But just, I didn't want this event to be swept under the rug. And now Ohioans will have a day of remembrance. And this is especially important to me to keep their memory alive for their families. Many of these were young men and women who had a bright future ahead of them. And sadly, they lost their lives giving their lives for our country. And they deserve the utmost respect from all of us.
Yeah, well, Senate Bill 244, once this makes it to the governor's desk and he signs it, it'll make our beautiful state the first state in the country to officially recognize their sacrifice. And that makes me really proud of our state, and also to know you two. And if you've heard me on the radio or whatever talking about this, I always say you guys are rock stars. And I'm not just saying that, I mean that. So what made you want to do this bill after you met me, of course? What made you really want to do it?
Well, I remember, Joe, I mean, when we first talked about it, I was like, absolutely, it's something we should do. But when we were there, was that in Seven Hills?
Yeah.
And we, I know the sister of one of the fallen service members was there, and
Mm-hmm.
it just made it really personal, about the family and the sacrifice. It's not just the service member that sacrifices, but it's the whole family that does, and they're left with that loss, the hole in their lives. And it just hit me that we have got to do something to remember these people, and let us never forget the sacrifice that they made, both for
Right.
them and their families. That, to me, that's when it was cemented in, when we were there in Seven Hills together.
Yeah, especially since Max Soviak is from Ohio,
Right.
very near to both of our districts. And, meeting his family members was incredibly impactful. And, their deaths have reverberations throughout their families and their communities. And, I think that it's important for all Ohioans, not just to remember Max, but the sacrifice of every one of the 13. and that there, not very many people are willing to step up and serve, and it's a great sacrifice, and they put themselves in danger for our freedoms, and I will never take that lightly. And that's why it was an easy decision for me. And you see the rest of our General Assembly and the State House fully supporting this. And I think it shows the gratitude of Ohioans towards these service members.
Yeah, and
I
for
do
me
want to.
too. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in terms of a process point, you mentioned, yeah, it cleared the Senate unanimously, then it went to the House, cleared the House unanimously. The House did make an amendment to recognize the branch of service for each of the service members. So now that the bill was amended, it will be coming back to the Senate for concurrence. And I spoke with our Deputy Chief of Staff earlier today, and they are intending to put that bill up on the Senate floor for concurrence this next week, and then from there it will be going to the governor's desk. But we definitely don't see any opposition. As you said, it was unanimous in both chambers. It's absolutely something we should be doing.
Yeah, that's great. And for me, what made me really want to do things for these guys was meeting Rachel Soviak, and I hope you guys get a chance to meet her. And I've had the opportunity to talk to several Gold Star family members, and I mean, it's the same for all of them. August 26th is going to be, it's already a day of remembrance for them and their friends. So I wanted that to be important for all of us here in Ohio too, because, like I've told you both, we can't promise to never forget if we don't even learn their names. We've already forgotten if we can't name even one of them, especially here in Ohio. Like you said, Maxton Soviak was from Ohio. So it's very important to not only remember him, but the 12 he passed away with on that day.
Yeah.
So this bill, it's about remembrance. What do you hope people think about every year when they see this on their calendar?
Well, I hope they'll remember that we live in the greatest country on earth. We are incredibly blessed with the freedoms and the liberties that we have here. Our country is like no other, and we owe it all to these brave men and women. I mean, generation upon generation that have stepped forward to answer the call of duty, and that they're willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. And of course, this particular day, August 26th, will remember Abbey Gate, and sacrifices there. But if it weren't for brave men and women like that throughout our country's history, we wouldn't have our nation at all. We owe everything to them. So I just hope people will take a minute to remember that.
Yeah, and I hope that people remember our freedoms are not free. That we don't live, as Kristina said, in the greatest country without the great sacrifice of our service members and what they're willing to do to lay down their lives for our freedoms. We live in very turbulent times, and what's protecting us is our American military at this point, and they put themselves in harm's way for our freedoms. And so I will forever be grateful, and I hope that August 26th is a day of gratitude and remembrance, but gratitude mostly because of the great sacrifice that they have given to all of us.
Right. Was there any hesitation from either of you about bringing this bill forward?
No,
not at all. Not a moment's hesitation. I think I knew
the answer to that one, but I wanted to ask anyway.
Yeah.
So what does this bill say about our values here in Ohio?
I think we're the heart of Ohio. I mean, we're the heart of America. Ohio is, we have one of the largest veterans population in the country. We're a very supportive of our military, and that will continue.
Mm-hmm. That's right. As Senator Timken said, we are supportive of our military. We are brave men and women that are patriotic, that love our nation, and are willing to serve, and are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. And then, Joe, you served too, right? I mean, you served in the Navy, so thank you for your service as well. Oh, there you go. I love that.
Yeah, I did. For me, it was for me, it was fun. Nobody was trying to shoot me. I was on an aircraft carrier, and I'm honored to have. First of all, I told the Soviets I'm honored to have worn the same uniform as Maxton, and I'm also honored to have sworn the same oath as all 13 of them did. So, this for me, this is a small token of my appreciation for the sacrifice they made, because you know obviously they made the ultimate sacrifice. That we all make sacrifices, even you in the Senate, you're making sacrifices. These guys made the ultimate sacrifice, and it was important for me. I consider myself so lucky that I met you two, and I just had a random conversation with you guys, and you took me seriously, because I'm just floored by everything.
Well,
It's
I
meant
would
to
say,
be.
yeah, and our sacrifice pales in comparison to our service members. We should be
Yeah.
lifting them up and elevating them. And, far too often our service members, especially our veterans, are forgotten. And I know, Joe, you've done a lot of work with our local SAM Center, and there's great need out there. And so, to anybody listening, make sure that you thank your service member, thank your veterans, not just on Veterans Day, but throughout the year, and make sure that you can step up and volunteer. There's plenty of opportunities, and I try to do that myself as much as I possibly can. And there's great people who are out there helping. And so I think we should continue to, especially now, support our service members.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So do you think, or do you hope the other 49 states will follow suit from Ohio?
Absolutely. Yeah, certainly hope all 49 states will follow suit and have a day of remembrance for Abbey Gate.
And do you think as a country we've done enough to honor and remember what they did at Abbey Gate? Or is this bill a sign that we're still trying to catch up?
I think it's a good first step.
Yeah, I
It's a really
agree.
good first step, but we could always do more.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree, Christina. And I think, a lot of people pay attention to what happens in Ohio. And so, as much as we can broadcast what's happened, maybe after the governor signs the bill, that we'll be able to have some attention to this, and maybe some other states will pick it up. And I'd certainly be advocating for that.
Oh yeah, me too. So how should schools approach a day like this? Do you think it should be a history lesson, a moment of silence, or something more? Because I know for me, I'm never going to work on this day ever again. So I want to use this day as an opportunity to teach people. But what do you think schools should do?
well, I mean, I think at very minimum, they should be teaching about what happened there, so it won't be forgotten. I think they
Mhm.
should emphasize the importance of the sacrifice that these brave, men and women, both at Abbey Gate, but then throughout our history have made for our nation. And maybe a moment of silence would be appropriate for the school as well. But they should absolutely be learning about it, 100%.
I agree. I think that learning about these 13 service members is a good idea. And maybe learning about the branches of our military. Oftentimes these young kids don't really understand a lot of what the different branches are and what they do, and how, and maybe a history lesson in, America's military, and how they've protected our freedoms.
But I also think it should be presented in a way that is inspirational to these young people so that the students, when they come of age, that they'll want to step up and serve our nation as well. Right? I mean, these are heroes. These are heroes to our
Yeah.
nation. And
Yeah.
it's a very solid career path too. Whether they stay in the military for their entire career or they serve for a while and then they go on to something else, but it teaches, I mean, certainly discipline and hard work and grit and problem solving and leadership. I mean, there's really no end to the wonderful things that our young men and women can learn in the military.
Right. So I'm excited that this, in the state of Ohio, this is going to show up on the calendars for history for the rest of our, forever. How do we make sure this isn't just a date on the calendar, but it's something that actually sticks.
Well, that's going to take all of us doing our part. I mean, so like, I know, Joe, you are tireless in terms of making sure that everyone remembers this. Senator Timken and I are doing our part in the General Assembly, but it's going to take, teachers and community looking at the calendar and saying, Abbey Gate, what happened there? Maybe 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, and researching it and then communicating to their classrooms and their colleagues. This is important.
Yeah. And I think maybe having family and friends and supporters come down to the State House on August 26th. We have a lot of people who come and celebrate and remember down in Columbus at the State House. And I think that would be something that I think would be very special.
Yeah.
Is there is there anything you would want to say to the Gold Star families about this bill?
Just that we love you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for us and for our children and our future grandchildren that are yet to be born. We owe you everything for the freedoms that we have in our nation. And there's nothing that we could ever do to repay you for that except this humble expression of gratitude.
Yeah, they have suffered such a great loss to lose a brother, husband, son,
Yeah.
and it is just something that we should always remember their sacrifice as well. And to all the military families out there, I express my great gratitude for their great sacrifice, and I hope that they feel comforted by the love and support from the people of Ohio once this is an actual day of remembrance.
Well, I plan on keeping my community day of remembrance going every year. I'm sure you both know I've done the last 2 years. I've done a day of remembrance, bringing in community members, active military, politicians. Kristina, Senator, you came and announced to everybody about the bill, and a lot of people were shocked by that. So I plan on keeping this up every year. Like I said in my speech this year is that, what I tell people is that we have to live a life worth dying for, because, they did the things we do every day and take for granted. They never get to do, including vote. So, I know you both are busy, and I just wanted to do an abbreviated podcast conversation just to, again, thank you both for doing this for these families. I think it really sends a big message to veterans about Ohio, about how we value their service and their sacrifices in Ohio. We're not going to forget, and it's because of rock stars like you two. So I just wanted to, again, thank you very much for what you've done with this bill. I'm floored by the two of you.
Well, thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you,
You're the
Joe.
rock star.
That's right. You absolutely are. It's been fun working with you as a team on this. We've done it together.
Yeah, your aide down there, I keep texting him updates, and I can't remember his name. Chance.
I have a Trent and a Connor.
Trent.
And
so Trent, I think he's the one that I keep texting, but I knew this was going to get done when he contacted me and he told me he was a Marine.
Yes.
I knew it was going to get done, and
He is.
I hope to be able to come down there when the governor signs this into law, so I can see you guys again. So
Absolutely. I'm planning, there will be absolutely a bill signing. We'll work with the governor's office on that. Love to have you come down there, and maybe the Soviak family as well. We'll try to work with everyone's calendars to make sure we can do that.
Yeah, the Soviaks invited me to, they had a 27th birthday party for Max in January. And I told them that I really hope they could come down there when when it finally does get to the governor's desk. So we have to juggle a lot of schedules. I'll be there for sure. But yeah, I really hope that at least the Soviaks, if not a couple other families,
Yeah.
I will invite all 13 families. So a lot of
Beautiful.
them live in California. That would be tough,
Yeah.
but
Well,
Well,
again,
maybe
I know
they come visit Ohio.
yeah, come visit
yeah.
Ohio. Well, I know
Yeah.
you both are very busy, so I will let you go. But I just wanted to thank you again. This means more to me for them than you know. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. God bless you.
Absolutely, Joe. It was a pleasure to be with you both.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.